Textile artist Joanna Staniszkis dives deep into the process at every stage. She constantly explores new forms, techniques, and materials. For years, she wove large-scale tapestries for big buildings.
Weaving is compulsive. As you weave, you see the tapestry grow. And with every inch, you want to see more and more. Sometimes it takes many months because I have done some very large-scale tapestries, but still it is almost addictive. And it took me a while to come to the conclusion that actually I can do other things in the field of textiles, not necessarily weaves.
When she turned to designing clothing, she dove deep into linen.
I studied how it's produced, and I have done a number of projects where I actually grew linen in my garden. Diving so deep into linen has showed me possibilities, what can be done. And I wanted much thinner linen. I wanted it to be gauzy, not so thick. And I have made a small sample on my loom in Vancouver. I took it to the weaving mill in Poland, and it was woven for me.
She gets deeply involved in every detail of every process.
Textiles are my life. I like the process. I like every stage of the process. I love looking at samples of fabric and ordering the fabric, or going to the weavers in India and sitting down with the weavers and telling them how I would like my fabric to look. It comes to me white because that's how I like my fabrics to be, because then I can print on top of the white fabric and I can dye it. By printing my own design and then dyeing the garment with the color I choose, I'm creating very unique garments. It is important for me to do all the stages myself. I don't have a big production. I sell my garments. I sell them for a lot of money. They are one of a kind, which makes them more precious. And this way I can be really creative in the way I cut this piece of fabric. I can use different parts of it. I can improvise on the spot. I think what happens when I do all the stages myself, I feel that I'm truly in control of what I'm doing. And I guess all of us want to be in control at certain times of our lives.
She even invents design elements to determine how and by whom a piece will be worn. No buttons here, but pins, carved in the shape of leaves from her garden.
So a garment like this can fit a small person just by wrapping it tighter, or it can fit a larger person if the pin is moved the other way.
For her silk project, which featured silkworm cocoons, she even started raising silkworms.
I started to get the silkworms because I wanted to see the process, how silk is made. My understanding of how the fiber is produced gave me a great insight what the silk fabric can do for me.
Of course, to raise silkworms, you need mulberry leaves, so she planted mulberry trees in her yard.
I planted them so I would have the leaves to feed. I could not have silkworms without these trees.
So, do you think that's obsessive?
I think it's more than obsessive. I think it's maniac. No, I think it just makes sense, because if I want one thing, I need to have the mulberry trees.